Why Israel can never give up in this war. Imagine opening the Bible and finding 98 curses in a row. Disease, famine, exile, destruction, enemies rising above you, your land stolen. It sounds like a nightmare, but it's happening right there in the Torah and in this week's portion, Ki Tavo. When you go in, it has warnings for when Israel enters the land, how it must function in order to stay there. And this isn't imagination. We've had it repeat over and over again in history. As Israel fights for its life in Gaza, these words feel less like ancient history and more like today's headlines. The Torah warns, if Israel stays strong and faithful, it will see blessing, prosperity, and survival. But if it weakens, if it surrenders, enemies will rise up and bring disaster. That's why Israel cannot stop fighting. To give up now would be a step straight into the curses of Ki Tavo. Moses prepares the nation to enter the land of Israel. He commands them to bring their first fruits to the temple in Zion, to distribute tithes to the priests, Levites, and poor, and to set up great stones engraved with the Torah as monuments. Then comes the dramatic ceremony, blessings proclaimed on Mount Gerizim, curses on Mount Ebal, and finally a terrifying list of 98 curses, calamities that would strike if Israel abandoned its mission. The pattern is clear. Hold the land and stay faithful, and you will be blessed. Surrender, and you will be destroyed. Hi, I'm Danny V, and I make videos about Israel and Judaism. Bikurim, gratitude in the land. The first section commands farmers to bring their first fruits to the temple in Zion. Wheat, barley, grapes, figs, pomegranates, olives, and dates. With these fruits, they recited a prayer of thanks, remembering that God took them out of slavery and gave them the land. This is about gratitude and responsibility for the land. Today, Israel still thrives when it holds its land. It made deserts bloom, turned barren soil into farmland, with amazing technologies like drip irrigation and the blessings above all of God. But when Israel gave up Gaza in 2005, these greenhouses and farms were destroyed, replaced by terror tunnels and rocket launchers. Ki Tavo teaches blessings come when Israel embraces its land, abandon it, and curses follow. Tithes and social responsibility. Next, the Torah describes the mitzvah of tithes. Farmers must set aside portions of produce for priests, Levites, and the poor, and sometimes for themselves to eat in Jerusalem. Every 3 years, they would declare before Passover that they had fulfilled this duty and ask God to bless the land. This is a vision of a just and responsible society. Compare that to Gaza today. Billions in aid poured in, but instead of helping the poor, Hamas used it to fatten their pockets. Every single leader in the political branch of Hamas is a billionaire, and they use it also to build bunkers, smuggle weapons, and attack Israel. Those bunkers are never used to protect the civilians, only to protect its weapons and its fighting capacity, because they don't care about protecting their people. They only care about killing Jews and destroying Israel. Ki Tavo shows us, when resources are used for good, society thrives. When they're handed to those who worship violence, like the so-called Palestinians, the result is curses. A treasured nation. Moses reminds the people, you chose God and God chose you. You are his treasured nation. This covenant is Israel's identity and survival. Hamas openly says its goal is to erase Israel from the map. But Ki Tavo tells us survival depends on faithfulness, remembering who we are and refusing to surrender that identity. To forget this is to invite the curses. Stones of memory. The Israelites are commanded to gather large stones, plaster them, and engrave the entire Torah upon them as they cross into the land. Another set is to be placed on Mount Ebal. These stones were permanent monuments, proof that the Torah is the foundation of the nation. And when Israel left Gaza, synagogues and memorials were burned to the ground, memory erased. Ki Tavo teaches, our truth must be carved in stone, not abandoned to those who seek to destroy it. Blessing and curses ceremony. The Jewish people are told to proclaim blessings and curses on Mount Gerizim and Mount Ebal. 6 tribes stood on one mountain, 6 on the other, and the priests and Levites were in the middle with the Ark of the Covenant. They called out, blessed is the one who honors his parents. Cursed is the one who takes a bribe to kill the innocent. And the people answered, Amen. This ceremony was a dramatic declaration. Life is about choices, blessing or curse. Today, Israel faces the same choice. Fight for survival and be blessed, or give up and curses will follow. And the European nations and many others, they're being bribed by the promise of votes from the massive amount of Islamic immigrants that they led into their country. They are not choosing to fight against Israel, to acknowledge a so-called Palestinian state, a completely fictional state, based on genuine principles, but instead for political power, thinking if they simply give in to terrorism, to terrorists, that they'll come out ahead. They'll lose. Bad principles always lose. The 98 curses. Now we come to one of the darkest passages in the entire Bible. 98 curses. Your enemies will rise above you and you will sink lower and lower. This is what happens when Israel allows Hamas to grow strong. You will flee in fear, though no one is chasing you. This is the life of families near Gaza. Really all of Israel today, running to bomb shelters at the sounds of sirens, afraid to walk freely in the street, of missiles and rockets coming from Iran, coming from Shia militias in Iraq, coming from Hezbollah, coming from the Houthis. A people that you do not know will eat the fruit of your land. And after Israel left Gaza, Jewish farms and greenhouses were destroyed and turned into bases of terror. A gift for the Palestinians, a gift of peace, which the Palestinians did not care about at all. They only wanted to destroy that which is Jewish at all costs. Ki Tavo is clear. Surrender invites curses. If Israel stops now, Hamas will rise again, rearm, and bring more destruction. It's happened every single time that Israel has gone into Gaza in the past. No matter what Israel does, they will always come back to destroy and kill. That's why Israel cannot afford to give up the fight in Gaza. Remembering the miracles, Moses closes by reminding the people of everything they had already seen. The plagues, the splitting of the sea, manna in the desert, victories over enemies. We also must remember when we think about 1948, 1967, the Yom Kippur War, and the many other victories of Israel. These are not permanent, only as long as we stay faithful. You've seen miracles before. We must continue to stay faithful. Today, Israel is still here after thousands of years, surrounded by enemies, but alive, thriving, and stronger than ever. Am Israel Chai. That survival itself is a miracle. Ki Tavo says, don't abandon it, don't surrender it, don't forget it. From darkness to light. And after all the curses, the Haftorah flips the story. Isaiah 60 describes redemption, exiles returning, nations honoring Jerusalem, violence ending, and God's eternal light shining over his people. This is the balance. Ki Tavo warns that Israel must never surrender, never give up. But Isaiah promises that the story ends in light. The future of Israel is not destruction, it is redemption. So what does Ki Tavo teach us today? That Israel cannot stop fighting in Gaza because surrender does not bring peace, it brings curses. Only strength and faith bring blessings, survival, and light. The Torah's words aren't ancient relics. They're alive right now, speaking directly to Israel and the Jewish people's choices. It's the choice between blessing and curse. And it's as real today as it was 3,500 years ago. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and click on one of the videos above for more.